Hello again from Vape Trader. I am doing a video that I promised to do quite a while ago. This video, I'm going to be trying to look at the camera more, even though it's so stupid. I need to put a picture of some hot chick next to it or some crap like that. Anyway, a while ago, I promised to do a do-it-yourself video on the best Canadian cigarette. I got tons of flavors from Jack at Happy Vapor. And some were paid for, some were gifted for a trial test. I'm going to quickly show you one thing, and I'm going to start with RY4 because it's probably the most popular, and that is there are two RY4s, and that might be a little confusing on the site, and actually it's a little confusing in person. You can't actually see that one's see-through and one's in a white bottle. The difference is the new white bottles, from what I understand, are his new commercial line. The old one, and you'll know it's the old one because it'll say something about floral in the description, does taste kind of flowery. In fact, too flowery for my liking. The new one is much sweeter. Almost too sweet, but not too bad. So what I do is about 80-20 nice RY4. Really nice, actually. I mean, if you're buying it, if you're getting RY4 pre-mixed, you're just tossing money in the garbage. And if you're going to do that, go buy a Keanu Reeves movie. This is CM Flu Cured. And CM, I believe, stands for Canadian Male. I have no clue what it stands for. There's probably something that it stands for, but really nice flavor without being like floral or that Turkish crap that everybody's always pushing, the 555. I can't stand that. It tastes like a camel urinated in my cigarette. And MLB, I don't know why I'm holding it up, I can see you can't even read that, but it says MLB on it. I'm going to take a guess and say it doesn't stand for Major League Baseball, but probably Marlboro. So, why do I have all four, you're probably wondering, and I'm looking around because I'm looking for my e-cig. I have recently, after testing these, I had some other ones also. Shade's really nice. Good name for it, too. It's like, it's kind of shady. It's not, it kind of gives a gray taste, if you will. Whereas, something really floral like 555 would give like a red taste, I guess. I mean, it's impossible to explain flavor. But, here's what I've come up with for the most, in my opinion, middle of the road, vapeable, still tastes like a cigarette vape. Okay, go ahead and give a vape on it now. Yummy. Now, this is a secret recipe that was handed down from my grandmother. It was so secret I had to kill her right after she told me. And if you tell anybody, I'm coming to your house and calling your grandmother. So, it is 10 mils of juice, whatever. You make it any percentage you want. Personally, right now, I'm using about 30-40% VG as my last test with VG. I'm not crazy about VG. I'll get to why in a second. But anyhow, you make your milligram strength whatever you want. That's your base unit. For flavorant, to 10 milligrams, I add about 17 drops of RY4, just a little under a milliliter of the new RY4. And 10 drops of the flu-cured tobacco, whatever CM stands for. and 7 drops, hope I said that right. Yeah. 10 drops of flue cured, 7 drops MLB. And I know what you're thinking, I don't like American cigarettes. It doesn't actually taste like an American cigarette. This will give you that nice golden flavor of Canadian cigarettes without the BS floral crap that I'm talking about. I'm going to go ahead and vape on it again. You can see how happy I am when I do. That's a regular Addy on a knockoff Ego. Local supplier. We're talking about possibly selling to the Canadian public because it's cheap. We're tired of seeing people ripped off. But the point is, you can make your own juice. It can be cheap ass. We spend enough on this hobby. What do you call it, a hobby? It's a hobby if masturbating is a hobby. That's the way I look at it. You gotta do it, but you still enjoy it, so it's a hobby. Yeah, it really is a good all-around cigarette. Now, about mixing yourself. First of all, don't believe the hype that you need as high of a nick as you think you do. I thought I needed 18 for a throat hit. I'm really enjoying this. I've on purposely not... I tried to trick myself. I didn't do the math. I stopped at about 18 and then I kept mixing down. I'm going to guess this is probably about a 10. Funny thing is, the throat hit is still there. I think what some people are calling throat hit and some people are just calling... I don't know. I think we have a definition problem, okay? If you're wanting that little tap in your back of your mouth, the top of your throat, that little pop, I don't think it's nicotine. And I know everybody is saying, yes, it is, it's nicotine. Well, I've vaped 24 milligrams and not gotten it, and I've vaped 8-9 milligrams and gotten it. So, I don't think it's as much to blame as, or to credit as you would think. So, what have I got against VG? It's all natural. It's what could possibly be wrong with something that's all natural? Well, here's the thing. We just haven't tested it. We have no frickin' clue. When they came up with it, they did not mean for us to be inhaling it in great volumes. True, PG neither. Thing about PG, though, is back in the 50s when we were trying to kill other people, we tried to use it for that and found that it failed miserably. So, I guess what I'm saying is, while, and some people have said, oh, well, testing is better today, and it wouldn't have been approved. Those tests in the 50s were not to try and approve or disprove PG. We were looking for a good chemical warfare tool, and it failed miserably. So, in other words, we weren't worried about anybody's health. We were pumping monkeys 7,000 times what the human could ever absorb. Just see what happened. I mean, it was the 50s. We didn't even have seatbelts for our kids. We strapped them on the hood and hoped for the best. So, with that kind of crazy-ass mentality, if they couldn't really come up with any great harm for a fairly extended period, I mean, no, it wasn't 20 years. And on a personal note, I've noticed with VG, the more I use it, the more I have to clear my throat. I don't know. Am I saying it's going to kill you? Probably not. I mean, you'll probably die being hit by a bus while you're worrying about dripping into a thing or something kind of funny like that. But the thing about VG is I don't believe, because it is vegetable-based, that it is necessarily good for you, okay? Or that propylene just because it has a name like that isn't necessarily bad for you. I would imagine it's not something great. By the way, if you're in Canada and you're looking for propylene glycol, like so, comes in this real attractive carrying case, no handle, and it comes from Gale Nova. In fact, galenova.com, maybe head over there. However, a much easier way to purchase, and you'll see I paid a big $9.50 for a half a liter of the crap. I went to Save On Foods, and I went to their prescription area, and I told the lady I was looking for something to smoke, and if she had any PG. Luckily, I'm from Abbotsford. That's considered a pretty mild request. So she ordered it for me. No kidding. 2 days later, the thing came in. I didn't even ask the price. I really didn't care. It's written on the side. I don't think they knew what to charge. So, I'm going back and getting about 10 cases of it. So I don't know if that will go as smoothly. But regardless, you guys, you can mix at home. Jack makes it totally capable. These things are cheap. And if you think about it, 3 milliliters theoretically should mix into about 30 milliliters. Even that, just kind of crap. I mean, truthfully, you probably... I go by the drops when I'm doing the flavoring. It's supposed to be 20 drops equals a milliliter. It doesn't work out that way. You get more than 20 drops. Long story short, I see I've gone 11 minutes on this. Mix your own. It's not that hard. Get a 36 mil base. If you want 12 mil, times it by 3. If you want 18, times it by 2. And what I mean by that is, and I'm going to use these bottles as a sample. Let's say this is your 36 mil base. Let's pretend it's 30 milliliters. You have to add 2 more 30 milliliters, and they all will now be, and mixed, obviously. Now they'll all be 12. If this was 36 in the one and just PG, what you got? Come on, take off the shoes. You can do it. 18. All right. It's really simple, all right? So, when you can buy 36 for the same price as a premixed, if not cheaper, get 3 times as much. I mean, honestly, if you're paying more than $30 a month in juice, you're getting ripped. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's some juices are awesome. Nick's Fit Nation makes a juice I couldn't come close to mixing. That dude took some time. Hats off, Primo. That stuff rocks. But if you're looking for an everyday vape and you're tired of paying, there's a certain Canadian seller who's got his Canadian crap for $30 a bottle. I'd go through 3 of those in a month. Man, I think I paid $100 for a liter of 36, maybe 100 and something. I don't know. I'll be vaping until, probably until I'm dead with that stuff. I mean, not really, but I mean, it's a lot, is what I'm saying. Anyway, I've babbled again. Peace and Happy New Year, everybody. Keep vaping if it works for you, and tell somebody else if they're still smoking, because it's a gross frickin' habit. I just smelled somebody at the mall. They smelled like cigarette smoke. If you're watching, a little bit of perfume wouldn't hurt. Peace. New Year.